When we talk about SAP Production Planning PP, everything starts with master data. Without it, production planning simply doesn't work. Think of it as the foundation of a house. If the foundation is weak, the entire structure collapses. In SAP PP, master data includes materials, bills of materials BOMs, routings, work centers, and production versions. These elements define what you produce, how you produce it, and where it's produced. Without accurate master data, MRP runs will fail, production orders will be incomplete, and companies will face delays, shortages, or wasted costs. That's why consultants and business users who understand PP master data are always in demand. Whether you're configuring the system or simply trying to troubleshoot errors, mastering these building blocks is the key to success. In this video, we'll break down the most important PP master data objects: materials, BOMs, routings, work centers, and production versions. By the end, you'll know how they fit together and why they are critical for smooth production planning. CTA, want to practice these concepts yourself? Download the SAP Career Guide in the description. It includes step-by-step exercises on BOMs and routings. Part 1. Material Master in SAP PP. The Material Master is the most important master data object in SAP, not only in PP, but across the entire system. It contains all the essential information a company needs to manage a material, whether it's a raw material, semi-finished good, or finished product. In PP, the Material Master plays a unique role because it tells the system how a material will be planned and produced. Key fields include MRP, type, defines whether the material is planned automatically, manually, or not at all. Procurement, type, indicates whether the material is produced in-house or purchased externally. Lot size determines how much of the material should be produced or ordered at a time. Scheduling parameters define in-house production time, planned delivery times, and safety stock levels. For example, a car manufacturer's engine material might be set to in-house production with an MRP type that triggers planning runs weekly, while tires are purchased externally with lead time specified. The Material Master also integrates with other modules: MM for purchasing and inventory, SD for sales, and FI/CO for valuation and costing. That's why setting it up correctly is critical. A single wrong field, like procurement type, can cause massive issues. MRP might try to produce something you intended to buy, or stockouts may occur due to missing lead times. If you want to see a sample Material Master configuration, check the SAP Career Guide in the description. It includes screenshots and exercises. Part 2. Bill of Materials, BOM. Explained. A bill of materials, BOM, is the recipe of production. It defines exactly what components are required to manufacture a finished product. Without a BOM, SAP doesn't know which raw materials or semi-finished goods are needed for production. In SAP PP, a BOM can be single-level, only listing direct components, or multi-level, where each subassembly has its own BOM. For example, to produce a bicycle, the top-level BOM might include the frame, wheels, and chain. But each wheel itself has a sub-BOM that includes spokes, a rim, and a tire. Key elements inside a BOM include component materials, the raw or semi-finished goods required. Quantities, how much of each component is needed. Validity dates, effective start and end dates for a BOM version. Alternative BOMs, different versions of a BOM for different production methods. Why BOMs matter. When MRP runs, it explodes the BOM to calculate exactly what and how much is required. If even one component is missing or set incorrectly, production halts. For consultants, understanding how to create, maintain, and troubleshoot BOMs is essential. You'll often find errors like incorrect quantities or missing validity dates, which can create major planning headaches. Want to practice BOM creation? Download the SAP Career Guide from the description. It includes a BOM walkthrough exercise. Part 3: Routing and Recipes in Process Industry. If the BOM tells us what to produce, routing tells us how to produce it. In SAP PP, a routing defines the exact sequence of operations needed to transform raw materials into finished goods. Each routing is linked to work centers, which represent machines, production lines, or even people. It specifies operations, steps such as cutting, welding, or assembly, setup, processing, and teardown times, the time required for each stage. Work center assignments, where the operation is performed. Standard values, used for capacity planning and scheduling. For example, assembling a bicycle might involve operations like welding the frame, attaching the wheels, and final inspection. Each step is linked to a specific work center, with setup and processing times defined. In process industries like chemicals or food, routings are called recipes. Instead of machines and assembly lines, recipes define process instructions, ingredients, and durations for batch production, like mixing, heating, and cooling. Why routings matter? Without them, SAP can't schedule operations or calculate capacity. Routings ensure production orders include not just what materials are needed, but how and where they are used. If you want a real-world routing example, check the SAP Career Guide in the description. It includes a hands-on routing creation exercise. Part 4: Work Centers in PP. In SAP PP, work centers represent the resources where production actually takes place. They can be machines, production lines, or even groups of people. Each work center carries detailed information that SAP uses for scheduling, costing, and capacity planning. Key elements inside a work center include capacity data. Defines how many hours per day the machine or labor resource can operate. Scheduling data. Setup, processing, and teardown times that impact lead times. Costing data. Links the work center to cost centers, allowing SAP to calculate production costs. HR integration. For labor-related work centers, employee assignments can also be defined. For example, a CNC machine may be defined as a work center with 16 machine hours available per day, tied to a cost center for costing, and linked to routings that describe machining operations. Work centers are crucial because they connect the plan with the shop floor. They tell SAP where and how long each operation will take and what resources will be consumed. Without work centers, you can't realistically schedule or cost your production orders. Want to learn how to set up work centers in a trial system? Download the SAP Career Guide in the description. It includes step-by-step setup guides. Part 5: Production versions. The link between BOM and routing. In SAP PP, production versions act as the glue between your bill of materials, BOM, and routing. They tell the system which combination of BOM and routing should be used when creating a production order or running MRP. Here's why they're so important. A single material can have multiple BOMs and routings. For example, a product might be built in plant A with one set of machines, and in plant B with a different process. The production version ensures that SAP selects the correct BOM plus routing combination, depending on plant, lot size, or validity dates. Without production versions, MRP cannot generate planned orders correctly, and production orders may be created without the right data. Key fields inside a production version include material number, the finished good being produced, BOM usage and alternative BOM, which BOM to use, routing group and sequence, which routing defines the operations, validity period, dates when the version is active, lot size range, which quantities the version applies to. In practice, production versions are mandatory in S/4HANA. This means consultants must set them up correctly or the planning process simply won't work. Need an example of production versions in action? The SAP Career Guide in the description includes a walkthrough with screenshots. Part 6. Common mistakes in PP master data. Even experienced consultants know that master data errors can cause some of the biggest problems in SAP PP. A small mistake in material master BOM or routing can ripple across the entire supply chain, leading to delays, cost overruns, or even production stoppages. Here are the most common mistakes. Incorrect procurement type. If a material is set to in-house production instead of external procurement, or vice versa, MRP will generate the wrong proposals. Missing or wrong BOM components. Forgetting to include a component or entering the wrong quantity leads to incomplete production orders. Invalid or overlapping dates. BOMs, routings, or production versions with incorrect validity dates prevent SAP from finding the right data during MRP runs. Routing inconsistencies, setup and processing times not aligned with actual shop floor data result in inaccurate scheduling. Work center capacity. Errors, overstated or understated capacity creates unrealistic production plans. These errors don't just cause technical problems, they directly impact business performance. Imagine a car manufacturer missing a single bolt in the BOM. The entire production line could halt. The good news? With careful data governance, regular audits, and proper training, most of these issues are avoidable. To avoid these mistakes and see best practice templates for BOMS, routings, and production versions, download the SAP Career Guide from the description. Outro, wrapping up. SAP PP Master Data. So that's our complete guide to SAP PP Master Data, the foundation of production planning. We explored the essentials, the role of the material master in defining what gets produced, how the bill of materials acts as the recipe for every product, why routings or recipes in process industries define the how of production, how work centers represent the resources doing the work, and how production versions link it all together. Without this master data, production planning simply doesn't work. But when it's accurate and well-maintained, companies save costs, improve efficiency, and deliver on time. For consultants, mastering PP master data is a critical skill. It's not just about configuration, it's about understanding how the entire manufacturing process fits together. Don't forget, if you want to practice these concepts yourself, download the SAP Career Guide from the description. It includes step-by-step exercises for BOMS, routings, and production versions. And if this video helped you, like this video, subscribe to SAPify Academy, hit the bell icon so you never miss our weekly SAP deep dives. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.